I'd like to show you today how to put together the September birthday wish card. It is one of my pop-up cards for the Flower of the Month collection. September is forget-me-nots, and so inside we have a lovely watering can that has many flowers in it. The sentiment says, "Forget-me-not, everlasting love." This card can be used for more than just a birthday card. You could also use it for a sympathy card, thinking of you card, many different cards. It's very versatile, and it's not that difficult to create. There's a lot of little pieces in there that takes time to put together, but are very simple. The pop-up mechanism is based on a box. It's like a box card that a lot of people have done. There are 3 layers in it to actually put your flowers in to create the lovely box. I have put together many of these, pre-assembled them, so that you can see that there are a lot of little pieces in this. It comes with the stem, and it comes with a kit that has a lot of different flowers that you can actually create yourself. And they cut out. It's a print and cut, and they're actually colored on both sides. And in the Read Me First folder, there are instructions on how to do the mirror cutting for the silhouette. I'm sure it's the same in other machines too. But as you can see, I'm putting the large flowers on the big circles. I also will use the big circles to put a cluster of tiny ones. They're very little. Forget-me-nots aren't a very big flower. They're tiny little flowers. And there's a lot of different meanings for these flowers. I just picked one of them. So you can see now I have covered 3 of the circles, and I still have a lot of little pieces left. And so I can embellish it anywhere on the stem. I can embellish it as much as I want to. And I try to use different colors. So I have the dark blue one up there. It's important also to turn it over and decorate it on the other side, because the other side will show, since this is a 180-degree pop-up, it shows on all sides, so you could put it as a centerpiece on your table. And again, I'm just putting them where I think they would look good, using different sizes, different colors, clustering them together, adding them to a stem here and there, and before you know it, we have a little bouquet. The glue that I'm using is a zig pen. I know some people don't like to use them, that they think that the glue doesn't stick, but it is a permanent adhesive glue that when you put it down like I'm doing, makes a permanent bond. And I'm very generous with how much I put on. And it does take a while for it to stick. And so you have to be a little bit careful with it. So I'm going to set this one aside so that it will dry. The part that I want to show you is how to construct the watering can. And it's, like I said, is based on a box. So you can see it's just a box fold. I have put the tape on where it will need to stick. The 2 flaps at the bottom go against the card, That one tucks in. I use my bone folder to make sure that my creases are nice and tight, nice crisp corners. I'm not going to fold them back like I would on some of my pop-up cards because it really doesn't fold back and forth. There is another center fold on each one of the ends. That is what makes it pop flat, lay flat inside the card. So I now have all my pieces together. And how are we going to put in this little piece? Now the piece comes with a tongue on the handle, and the handle goes through this tiny slot right here. So we need to put the handle in first, and then reset it inside the water can itself so that the tongue matches. And then I take some cellophane tape and tape that tongue in place. It's not going to show because it's on the inside. Put a piece on both sides. And then the spout goes through this slot. And you have assembled your little water can. I like to use this double stick adhesive. Makes a strong bond, especially for pop-up cards. Now you can see how it works from this angle when it's flat, and then when it comes and pops open, the sides will pull it out. While I have these like this, all the pieces laying flat, it's easy for me then to go ahead and decorate my watering can. You notice that the flowers will go above, and this centerpiece stays static, so when you put flowers on the inside, you can actually glue it to the handle, and that stabilizes it even better. So let's start from the inside. Once again, I'm using my Zig glue. And I know that some of these flowers are not going to show because it's inside the card. I put one of the big ones on the inside. It kind of gives it the base. It's not easy to assemble this when it's not together, because when you put it together, say for instance outside of the water can, you don't know that this flower is going to be too low or too high. Another nice thing about the Zig glue is before it dries, you can reposition it. So for instance, I think it's a little bit too far down for the middle piece, and I'm going to move it up a little bit. Now this one, like I said, you can glue these little flowers onto the handle. You don't want the flowers to go too far above the handle, because if you have it above the handle, it's going to pop out at the top. Now again, you can place these wherever you want to. I like to place it so that the flowers are bowing in, at least on one side, because what we're going to have is a couple of them coming over the side there, and you don't want them colliding. Okay, let's let this sit for a little bit while all those pieces dry out, and I will explain a little bit about putting the front and insides together. On a pop-up card, normally the inside flap isn't taped down, but on this one, because the inside insert is not dependent on the how the pop-up hinges, I can actually glue these down on the top and the bottom edges and center them within each side. And so I'm going to do that, and then we've got some fixing up we have to do. And the reason for that is if you can see this flower, it's actually a negative cut. And with a negative cut, you have some pieces that need to be reinserted. This one doesn't have any of those. It has lots of negative pieces that actually give it some of the pretty flares. I chose a dark green. I have other ones that I've chosen light green, and I wanted to be able to have this sentiment on inside, and printing it with black just didn't do, and so instead I used vinyl to cut out the sentiment in place. Now you can see there's lots of little pieces that are flipping up, and those little pieces need to be glued down. Okay, so I have that one done. And the same thing goes true on the front. And so I kept the blue one out for that. All right. Now we're going to make the magic. If you've ever put together pop-up cards before, you have heard about them having a natural fold so that the insides fit in and pop. The natural fold can be found by putting one side in and then folding this other side over it. So now you have to decide which way you want your spout to be, on the right or the left. And I like mine on the left because I would probably garb it with my right. I will take the sticker off of the tape, and what's nice about this design is you line it up on your green edge. That's the right width length apart, and you can see all my pieces are lying within my card. I take the other side off, I fold my card over, and it's now found the natural spot for it to pop open and lie flat. I now have 2 pop-up cards, and they are both different because of the way I embellished each one of them. Thank you for watching my video, and good luck in making your pop-up card.